I mean, the fact that you have a microphone from me to make a podcast feels like a long, very long con. Like
I'm a podcast gateway drug. Yeah, I'm a podcast grifter as well. Yes, I really wanted this Blue Yeti mic, and I didn't want to pay for it. So
this is how it works. You get them into podcasting, and then they send you the mic, and then the podcast ends in a blaze of glory, and you go sell the mic at Best Buy. You return it as if you just bought it.
Exactly. Yeah. You know the whole grift. It feels like you maybe have done this before. Are you also a podcast grifter? Are you in on the grifts?
Wow.
Two podcast grifters end up grifting each other. This is like the plot to like
Tale of Two Cities.
Uncupped Gems 2.
This seems perfect for our generation. This could be a plot to a movie.
Podcast grifters grifting each other in an endless grift loop.
Yeah, uncut crosstalk.
Yeah. Uncut episodes.
Wow, everyone. Well, welcome to another episode of The Succ. This is a unique occasion. It's a very unique arrangement. You know, everyone on The Succ shows up so often that we don't get to have these smaller arrangements where it's Willow, Matt, myself. I'm Phil, in case you don't know my voice by now. But yeah, this is a good one. I think this is going to be interesting and exciting. And we might all get canceled. You know, it could go down like that tonight.
It could, yeah. It very well could.
Absolutely.
I don't know. We pretty much already confronted that in the bonus episode. If the people don't know, though, we were like, have you ever been canceled or could you have been? And we survived. We're here. We're still going.
Yeah. You guys already know the worst of it, so we're basically fine. I mean, if you guys are okay with that, that's it. I mean,
there's new material. There's new material, though, to be fair.
Yeah. And we're gonna make new, much more cancelable episodes. So you'll definitely want to tune in for that.
Absolutely.
You're going to love it. We're going to get Willow to say a slur. That's my life's mission. Wow. I don't know which one yet, but we're going to go.
Willow and I are in competition for the sweetest host on the podcast. Okay, so
yeah,
don't edge Willow out. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll see how. No promises, but
yeah. I don't play any talking about edging, Phil. Then I guess it's just
one of my tactics
in the bag now. Yeah, just get people talking about edging.
Say the fucking slur.
It's a gate. Yeah, that's a gateway tactic, I think.
Yeah.
I see. Just talk about slurs enough till somebody finally just says it. You know.
Just they can't.
And in a historical context, it's not like they meant it. You know, it was just that's what they used to say at that time because we were discussing 1800s history.
Exactly.
Because me and my friend
read primary sources over and over again.
Yeah, me and my friend Morgan Wallen used to get real fucking just toe up and then just read firsthand accounts of shit from the Civil War era, letters home from
so fucked up. Did y'all have to do that in school or anything where they were just like, yeah, we should read the Mark Twain novel as it's written because
yes, actually. Yeah. In Florida, no less.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why our top listenership is from Florida. It makes sense now.
God damn. Is that true, Bill? Did you make that up?
No, I didn't make it up. I looked on Podbean recently, and the most listeners we have in America are in Florida for some reason.
No fucking way. That's got to be Ashley. It's got to be Ashley. No?
They're petitioning us for the first live Succ episode. They want us to come down there.
I'll go down. I'll go visit my family and shit. It'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll try to explain to them I'm in a podcast. Hey, I have a podcast. You know what that is, Grandma?
Yeah, let's record a podcast at like a daiquiri deck.
Yes.
That would be fucking awesome, actually. We're each 5 daiquiris deep.
Yeah.
We're like kind of feel sick, but we're tipsy too.
Definitely like blood sugar over 300 from daiquiris.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll work it out. I would be. I'm admittedly a Florida man. Like I'm there for it. Absolutely.
You love it. You like the
any
vibes there?
occasion. Yeah, let's go right now. Let's sit near the ocean. Let's eat shrimp. Let's drink really shitty mixed drinks, like a lot of sugar and alcohol. Don't
feel
care
like
what
I've
the alcohol
warmed up
is.
to it.
You would.
I hated it for so long because I grew up there, but you know, it's got its moments. It can be really pretty there. You know, it's got sunsets. It's got beautiful beaches.
Yeah.
It's got the most insane hillbillies you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Hillbillies are good people, though. You know, that's
They
we
can
shouldn't
be.
gloss over that. You know,
They can be, Mr. Memphis.
they'll call you a slur to your face, but they will also like help you change your tire on the side of the road when you're just like down and out and don't know how to change a tire. And they'll pull over and be like, "Hey, you slur, let me change that for you real quick," and then get you on about your way. I mean,
there's a couple grams of suspicious weed that I found too. Just why don't you take this?
How suspicious can weed really be, though? I mean, like,
well, if it's colored wrong, you know, like
I remember weed in the early 2000s was there was some suspicious stuff that I smoked.
What does that mean? What does this mean? I smoked a lot of weed. The most suspicious color was brown, and then that was my favorite weed, to be honest. Was the brown
brickweed? Mexican brickweed?
Oh yeah,
that shit. It was the best to make like a can of butter with. Because you just couldn't fuck it up, you know? Like you weren't wasting any of it. It was a fucking brickweed, you know?
Couldn't fuck that up.
Yeah.
I believe you. I think that, personally, I would pay more money for shitty brickweed in 2022 than I would for actual good weed in Colorado.
There's a market for it now.
I don't want this shit. I can't smoke it. You know, like I have one hit and everybody's doing dabs and shit. And I'm just like,
yeah, I've never done a dab. I can't even fathom doing a dab now. And I used to smoke so fucking much. I've never done one. I will do one eventually just to be like, just to know what it's like to do a dab. But I feel like I'll die. I feel like I might actually die.
If you have any pre-existing anxiety in your mental state at all, like base level 0.01, and then add in modern day weed to that, can't handle it.
Sends you to the moon.
Just take a shower for like 2 hours, like trying to wash it off. Like
trying to wash.
Why am I so
anxiety
high?
out?
I'm washing it. I've eaten so many things. I'm gonna throw up, and I'm still high. This is terrible. Yeah, I'm a baby. Sorry.
Hey, when you guys smoke, right, or do edibles or whatever, you know, like the munchies, right? You know, that's like the cliche. For some reason, how it works for me, and it's always worked this way for me. I'm curious to see what you guys think or what happens to you. I smoke or whatever, and then I am not hungry at all for a while, for hours. And then when I'm, maybe not hours, but like 2 hours, maybe, you know, and then as I start to come down, that's when I get really hungry.
Interesting.
Is that normal or no?
Not for me.
Okay. People just smoke and then they're like, I'm hungry as hell. I want to eat, you know?
Yeah. It doesn't take that long usually.
Okay, yeah.
But
I'm like not hungry. I can't
interesting.
even fathom eating. It's so weird. I don't know. I'm like one of the only people I know that this happens to.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I want to find out if there's like comorbidity. And that's the wrong word, but you know, between that and like you know, the sort of like synesthesia that like,
that would be
you know what I mean? Like,
wow,
maybe there's.
They need to study.
Yeah, it's time.
This needs to be funded.
Going back to school. I'm gonna do like my graduate work, and they're gonna be like, "You didn't even get an you didn't even get your bachelor's degree. What are you doing here?" Like, I'm working at it.
Just fake it till you make it, Willow.
Yeah.
You're gonna get that. That would be amazing to be a person that has a graduate degree without an undergraduate degree first, in the field.
Just skip right from associates to like a doctor.
Well, there's people with doctorates that don't have any undergrad or anything like that. Just because you can get an honorary doctorate.
Oh well, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I need to push for the honorary.
Right?
Like Dr. Dre, exactly like Dr. Dre.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of weed, I mean, I have a weird thing where I was thinking about it really hard, and I haven't smoked weed in such a long time that I can't remember what happens. But when I eat edibles, I eat them, and then I usually what will happen is I try to eat edibles in lieu of drinking alcohol because I'm a lush. like to drink alcohol. It's so nice. I like to drink a lot, and I want to take a day off. So I'm like, I'll just eat this edible tonight. That'll be what I'm gonna.
Yeah.
And then the problem will be when I eat the edible, I will just eat everything else in my entire house. Like 2 to 3 hours after I've eaten the edible, I'm just like, 10 pounds of pasta, brownies, cupcakes. And it's weird, like I'm not even hungry. I just have this insatiable desire to eat.
Yeah.
I had in college once, I like stayed back for like a short holiday where most people like left. And I was like, I'll just stay here. Like my family was going somewhere. So I was like, I'll just stay in college. It'll be fun. Yeah, exactly. And my other roommate did the same thing, or my suite mate did. And so we're like, hey man, like we just bought a bunch of weed, and we're like, this weekend we'll just like get mad fucked up and alcohol and shit like that. And then we'll make cookies too. So we bought like those Pillsbury, cookies, like the chocolate chip cookies, and we made 2 giant rolls of them on cookie sheets, right? And we smoke, we get super high, we're drinking, and we're hanging out, playing video games and shit. And then he's like, oh, they're done. Okay. So he like takes them out. He puts one tray in front of me. We let him cool a little bit. One tray in front of him. And I eat one cookie, right? Because the thing happens to me where like I smoke and I'm like, I'm not hungry. I like eat one cookie. I'm like, they're good, but like I'm good. He eats his entire tray of cookies. Every single fucking cookie on that entire tray, right? And then he's like, hey, you gonna eat those? And he eats every single cookie on the one in front of me. He ate an entire roll.
This is really
Pillsbury roll of chocolate chip cookies. Yeah,
incredible.
Himself, minus one cookie.
And what happened to him?
He was fine.
He had a good time.
That's fine. I mean, he was mentally okay. He ate dinner later too.
Damn, dude.
Shout out to Noah. That's good. He actually listens to the podcast, so he'll be thrilled.
Shout out Noah. What's up?
For me to have told that somewhat embarrassing story about him.
Well, this episode already has heavy white dude energy where we just name all the shit that we did to get fucked up. Like, I had 3 shots. This is just a Dave Chappelle joke. I'm going to stop.
I want to say I was extremely impressed that he ate it all. And I didn't notice it until he was finishing up his like last 3 cookies. I was like, motherfucker, dude, did you eat the whole fucking... He's like, oh yeah, I did, man. Fuck. Well, like, you better finish them now. Fuck it, man.
Well, I feel you have some serious leverage here on this episode after doing this with just Matt and myself. And you, like, Ashley and Justine are really gonna have to like weigh in after this white dude energy episode.
That's true. Yeah. Next record, I'm not saying word one until I'm satisfied with the amount of input from all the people who are missing today.
Okay. Yeah. I should do the same.
I mean this.
Well, we always joked about a Dudes Rock episode, which sounds terrible. But this is the closest we've come to that. I mean,
you can just pretend that I'm the producer, even though I'm like the furthest thing from the producer.
Willow, can you look that up for us?
You could be Jamie. Jamie, bring that up.
Like, yeah, but I'm really bad at bringing stuff. Hold on. Wait. Okay, so it's no. This isn't. No.
Go to Google. Sorry. Go to Google, Jamie. That's Google Chrome. Go to Google Chrome,
and then. How do you spell? It's poopin'?
No, you opened up Microsoft Edge, Jamie. Christ almighty. I told you uninstall that.
P-U-T. P-U-T. No, not a P. It's not P. It's not poopin'.
Duck, go.
Dogpile.com.
I love this. We should definitely do this. Well, okay. Well, let's just do this. Speaking of Russia and Ukraine, by Monday, when this episode comes out, Lord only knows what the fuck, will have happened. But, I think this is worth speaking about. I don't think we actually need to speak about the geopolitical aspects of this. I think we need to speak about the people on Twitter that are using astrology to explain the geopolitical actions.
We live in a fucking hell world, truly, man.
And, I miss both Justine and Ashley because I think Justine shared this with us. And this is a tweet from Starheel, at Starheel. Putin has... transiting Saturn opposing his natal Pluto all year.
I've been saying this.
This can be very destructive aspect / transit. And the reason I'm reading this tweet is because it was just this huge amount of replies and ratioing and all kinds of stuff going on, that this person thought that you shouldn't be making fun of me for astrology in this situation, but like I don't know how to interpret this at all. Like I don't even know how to read most of these words. Natal Pluto, what?
Yeah, I have literally no clue.
Yeah, that's I never got deep enough into the astrology stuff. I never really got past some of the sun signs and stuff, but like
it's all sorry, just Star Heel replies to their own tweet. Mm-hmm. It's also important to note that this transit is happening on his angles, which emphasizes the energy more. Nice.
This is true.
That's why Russia's invading Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, because his angles are.
It's all written up there, and if you can, if you just tune yourself in to the Ionic,
the Yoni egg, of the universe,
the sort of the Ionic string theory,
the Ionic string.
God, dude, this person is so annoying. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at their incredibly irritating feed.
All right, well, I have two things. I have two bones I have to pick here. First of all, which is that if you're doing the star chart for Putin, and you could have foreseen this to some degree, why wouldn't you have said something before now? This says February 23rd, 2022 at 9:07 p.m. You're way behind the 8 ball on this one. Like your whatever predictive energies or what, this is just not working. But
imagine Starhill. Sorry, imagine Starhill like calling up Joe Biden.
Thank you. Yes, this is
Biden. I swear to God, he's gonna do something. His angles are so fucked up right now. It's insane.
We need who's that?
Who's that?
Voices.
Who is this? And who's that? What? Who's what?
I don't understand, Biden. She did call. She managed to get a hold of him. He's warning him frantically that Ukraine's gonna get invaded.
You're goddamn right. You bet your butt bass. I don't understand. Who's pooping?
That's enough, folks. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. We all know that Putin has his opposing natal Pluto, and I know that we did very destructive aspects. And that I have. Did y'all see that one? If you hadn't, that joke doesn't hit. But there's a great clip I'll share in the Discord or something.
Is it Biden?
Yeah, Biden is trying to wrap up. The poor guy is such a grandpa.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
he literally is like 80 something, man. What the fuck is going on with that?
Yeah,
we shouldn't ask people to be presidents.
Nature has not been kind to him as a horrible individual.
No,
it has dealt out age, accordingly. I think.
Which is unusual because like the worst people always like they live forever and they just like are competent and they just like leech the life. Yeah, Henry Kissinger's still kicking.
Why is he still alive?
True.
Fuck that guy.
You ever seen him standing next to his wife? No. He's a short king that married up. Oh yeah.
Let's not celebrate short kings in this particular bit.
Okay.
That guy. I just want to say I'm imagining. I just want to get this in there before we wrap this bit up. It's just I'm imagining Politico calling Putin's mother and being like, "What time was Putin born?"
Yeah. It's part of a broader trend of like, people in whatever way they like to feign like wide-ranging knowledge on everything. They're doing it, and you got the astrology people saying it's because he's got a Venus in his asshole or whatever. And then you've got other people say, if you read theory, you know exactly what's going on. And, meanwhile, they are off on some sort of like opposite, like bizarro Q shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, you can take 5 minutes and just like think about the fact that you don't know what you're talking about before you.
That would never That would never happen.
No, we have to post.
And
We have
social
to
media
post.
enables that terribly. So it's
We
crazy.
have to
Absolutely.
post.
It's often, I find it hard to resist saying stupid shit sometimes, but I do.
That's all I say. So
usually. Well, you know,
Well,
you're different.
my favorite things you do.
A good takeaway here is that, you know, this is kind of like our bit going all the way back to whatever, I don't know, episode 2 or 3 or something. It was my own personal Afghanistan, right? But now it's like, you know, 2022 has come, and now we all have our own personal Ukraine. We have to make it about ourselves on social media. This is just what people do.
Yeah, I think Justine said that she actually muted the word Ukraine because she just couldn't take it anymore. And honestly, I don't blame her. I spent like way too much of the day just like scrolling through Twitter and
there's nothing of value there with regard to this, really.
You know, I mean, like there are some people that I follow that I really respect, and it was and I liked reading their stuff. But it was, you know, I'm active. I search for them and look for them. If you just go through your feed, you're just seeing nonstop insane drivel, or just some patently false stuff. You know, it's amazing.
Well, I didn't post anything about Ukraine today, and I didn't see most people I follow posting about Ukraine today, but some people did, and I get it. And I think the hard part is that we live in some kind of weird ideological version of the Cold War in this, you know, modern world. It's just strange. It's like, yes, they're invading Ukraine, but there's still like the cold. Like there's people that are leftists that they love leftist ideology so hard that they would defend fascist dictator people, and then it's the same thing on the right side where people love capitalism so hard that they would defend, you know, the same type of people.
Yeah.
And what's funny to me is that then you have this weird thing where it's like Trump is like indebted or blackmailed by Russian mafia or something. So like now right wing people are like, yeah, we defend Russia invading Ukraine because Trump said that was good, because Trump is, you know, got piss videos or something in the Russian government, but they don't understand any of this shit at all. Like it's just weird and murky, you know, like people believe in ideologies and then this whole different world of ideologies over actions. And that's why it's hard for me to comment on any of it, because it's like I don't know what any of these people are referring to versus, you know, their beliefs and the actual actions that are happening on the ground. And also don't know what is actually happening. Like the reporting is not very clear to me.
Well, I believe they're advancing on Kiev at this point. Like at the moment, I believe.
Well, let's talk about that, because I always used to say Kiev. That was always how I pronounced the capital. But a lot of people have been listening to the news and they just say Kiev. What the fuck is that?
That's so as a way to stick it to Russia and emphasize the independence of Ukraine, you'll notice what's the right word? Libtards. They like to. The new thing is that they insist that you never say the Ukraine, because it implies that it's a part of Russia, right? It's a territory of some other thing in Russia.
Sure.
And
really
also you should not pronounce the capital the Russian way, which is the way that English speakers typically and instead say it the way that Ukrainians say it.
I did not know.
Freedom fries are back on the menu, everybody.
Freedom fries. And remember, you're a bad person if you don't say
I'm just like trying to rationalize this in the world of the NPR reports that I've heard it pronounced that way now. What does this mean?
It's the liberal media. Like they've been pushing like one kind of narrative for like a long time, which is why I didn't think that Russia would actually pull the trigger on it. To me, it's absolutely insane that Putin did this. I did not see this coming. Yeah. And I really thought that it was just all bullshit, you know.
I honestly agree with that, but I don't know shit about fuck. So
right, and I don't either, and that's why I haven't, you know, and that's why I'm not saying anything, and that's why I think the majority of people who are saying things should stop.
No, I do think it's important, especially in these environments. I think like parasocial, you know, Willow and I have had conversations about this, and I want to always hash it out on this show, because I think it's important that the parasocial shit, you know, devolves conversations, whereas right now we're having actual conversation. It's not like I'm going to post and it's like a one-way street where you can come back on your own one-way street. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's very bizarre
the
on
performance of
Facebook
it,
and all that, where you can
Bizarre
I'm gonna post
turn-based
this way.
role-playing situation.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think it is important to have actual conversations, because like my wife and Lee and I talked about this for a while before the show, and it's like we have so different perspectives of it, being that she doesn't have all this shit posting world in her social media feeds. You know,
God.
well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, most people don't. I mean, you know, we're like a very small percentage of the world that like we're extremely online and inundated with the most awful shit. But we had a really real conversation about it. We talked a lot about all the different aspects of it, and you know, it is murky, to say the least, even if you're not in the deep shit posting environment.
Of course, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, and there's so much that we're not told, or that it's skewed, in the way that the media presents. They have their narratives that they push, and it has been very interesting, as you guys mentioned before, to watch the split now, right? Because traditionally Fox, the right and the left media circuits have aligned for the most part on foreign policy stuff traditionally, even up through the mid 2000s, through Obama. Not everything with Obama's presidency, but for like, if we were going to war with anybody, or we didn't like, everyone agreed who the bad guys were.
Yeah.
But now you're seeing, I mean, for now it looks like there's some split, right? Like there's you have like the Newsmax and some of the Fox News people, the Trump contingent, being like, oh, actually Putin's the good guy, because he's a strong guy, and like, why not invade Ukraine? Like, we should invade some people,
Well,
it's
super bizarre.
Yeah,
because traditionally you would expect GOP party type people to always be 100% of pro-America on any sort of war issue, but then you have this whole contingent of the GOP which is sworn loyalty to Trump, and Trump's gonna just be like, well, I think Putin's strong as hell right now. He's looking good. You know what I'm saying? His shirt's off on a horseback, and he's got them piss videos on me. So,
right, and he has the analysis, like the analytical skills of the dumbest motherfucker you've ever seen posting. Like, and he's just saying this shit because like he just wants like Biden to look bad or whatever, and it's just like that's his whole thing, and he wields such power. It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah,
it's like
it is nuts.
Well, speaking of Trump, apparently this week Donald Trump, former president, launched his own social media platform called Truth, which has been referred to as Truth Social. Have either of y'all gotten onto Truth Social yet?
I just signed up for it.
Are you on the?
I did. Well, I tried to, but if you go to Truth Social and then you try to put in, there's like a waiting list, something like that.
Willow, you were on this. I feel like you were ahead of the game. Are you still on the wait list?
I did not. I don't want anything to do with it.
Oh my god!
This is what happened. Of course, no. I don't love to participate in confrontation, but also like really,
I love it.
My real concern is always like, I am not good at protecting myself, like from anything really. So when like Parler came along and everybody was getting Parler accounts and doing the right thing and just making fun of fucking those people all day, I was like, I really wanted to get in on it, but I was like, I don't want a platform like this to have my information, because number one, it's gotta be like so full of fucking holes, and somebody's gonna get a hold of everybody's information. And I believe that did end up happening with Parler.
Oh yeah, and it was crazy because you had to give them so much information in order to even make an account. Which is because I was gonna make an account, and I was like, hell yeah, I want to get on Parler, fuck it, yeah. And then I was like trying to sign up, and I'm like, wait, why do you need all this information? I don't want to give you like where I live and all that shit.
Yeah,
so I didn't.
Driver's license number and shit.
Yeah. So I was like, no. And I'm glad I didn't, because you're exactly right. It did get hacked, or they sold the information.
Right.
It seemed like it was always that. That's always what
Right.
it was supposed to be.
And-
Security was so
that's
poor.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Trump is the fucking, like, everybody knows, like, even the people that praise him as like a competent businessman or whatever, everybody knows that he's full of shit, and that everything he makes is full of shit, or it's full of nothing. You know,
and people love him for it, though.
Exactly. But
nuts.
everything that he does is like a prototype that isn't ready for anything. Like the people that they would hire to film like the weird videos that they would release and shit during his presidency, I've never seen anything as bad as that. And like looking at that and looking at the way he does everything and has always done everything, I don't want to set foot in his fucking, I might be being paranoid, but it's like, I don't want anything to do with that network.
That's a very important point, and I think it's good for our listenership, because I think when I heard that the Truth Social app was the most downloaded app on the App Store for a while, I figured that almost 50% of the downloadership, or whatever you want to call that amount of people that are downloading this, that almost half of them are probably just downloading it to troll and talk shit.
Which,
exactly.
But, this could be like a honeypot. Be careful. You don't know. Like, you could sign up for this, and next thing you know, you're getting Social Security insurance fraud. People withdrawing on your retirement from Donald Trump's
Trump University.
Yeah.
Yeah, some graduates from Trump University are going to steal all your money to,
Trump steaks.
Well, speaking of multi-level marketing and other schemes, this is on our docket for a while now, and unfortunately it's from BuzzFeed, so apologize in advance for that. But the article, the headline is so good, I feel like we should at least touch on it. These women say Young Living essential oils has been taken over by Satan.
Oh,
yes, really. And then the subtitle says, "Am I the only Christian woman who is not surprised one bit that an essential oil company would come out as satanic?"
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense, because I feel like if you get Christian enough, you'll find Satan in anything, and the essential oils are kind of like a pseudoscience. Like, you could definitely be like, these are they're not anointed oils or whatever. They're Satan oils, because so all it takes is one, and I'm sure it's because someone got ripped off and wanted to stir the pot.
I mean, for me, it's just weird, because it's just like, is Christianity not the most like quintessential multi-level marketing company? I mean, like
it's not as bad as Mormons. Yeah, Mormons are the true MLM.
They iterated on the Christianity.
Yeah. They did.
They're like, yeah, join us, and then also spread it to 10 of your friends, and have
I actually learned that I think it's the second highest industry in Utah is MLMs. That's just what it is, because they're so popular there, because they're just so popular in the community of Mormons, because they sell each other shit constantly.
I'm just reimagining like the gospel of Jesus in an MLM scheme, where like, Jesus is like Samantha, where she like, stole so many of your clients, and Barbara is like, fucking Samantha, she worships Satan, and Samantha's like, I fucking, I believe in free will, and I don't believe we should have to subscribe to your, pyramid scheme. I believe that if they want to come over to me, this is okay. And I'm making all this up because I didn't read the article. I refuse to read this article. Fuck that shit.
I'm picturing Jesus like at the temple yelling at the people there because they wouldn't buy his essential oils, and he flips over their fucking desk, the tables and shit.
And then later, just he's when he's a little calmed down, just standing, telling everybody, blessed are the peacemakers, Blessed are the top sellers for this month. We got Jonah. Shout out Jonah.
Jonah, you just got a
Great job.
pink
Great job,
Cadillac.
Jonah. Can we get a round of applause for Jonah? Great job. Your name is Peter now. Well, look, if you're Satan, right? If I'm Satan, I know what I would do. I wouldn't be selling essential oils. I would be getting into the leggings racket because I'd be turning myself into those fucking leggings.
Wow.
Yeah, Lucy Rowe. Sorry, that took
Lucy
me 5 times to say.
Lucy Lemon.
Amazing.
Lucifer Lemon.
Lucifer, there you go. That's the ticket there.
That was it. Oh.
Anyway, fuck these people.
Well,
I'm not
we're
reading
way
this shit.
behind the times. A lot of these stories are unfortunately from a couple weeks ago because we have so many things to talk about on this podcast. We don't often get to all of them. But this one was fairly recent from just a couple of days ago, and I don't want to glorify this person because they seem fairly irrelevant. But apparently a candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives, excuse me, I'll edit that out.
I'll leave that in.
I'll leave it now. Named Abby Broyles he had a Valentine's Day sleepover weekend event for a bunch of middle school age girls, and
Sure,
got
as you do.
so gone off the sauce, as I like to say. But the funny thing is, it's like I read the article a bit before the show, and it doesn't seem like she actually has a daughter that was at this event. She was
She was just there chilling with middle school girls.
Yeah, she was invited by a
Nice.
friend who had kids. They invited her to come over for this event, and she took sleeping pills and drank a lot of wine, and cursed out the middle school girls. It made fun of one of their acne and another one. Like,
I'd vote for her.
how petty. It says commenting on one girl's acne and another girl's Hispanic ethnicity.
She's really checking all the boxes for shit not to do.
Wow.
There we go. You gotta
As
love that.
candidates do. So, a Democratic candidate for the House of Representatives in Oklahoma City, and finished her night by barfing into someone's laundry hamper, and woke up and didn't remember anything. The quote says, "And I don't remember anything until I woke up or came to, and I was throwing up in the hamper."
Which happens. I mean, I don't know. I forgive Abby. She seems like a nice person.
Yeah, and
like
clearly it was
Matt
just
would like
Havana
Abby.
syndrome.
This is Havana syndrome. We're just ugly head again. Who are we to judge Abby? Her Pluto natal ankles were all fucked up that night. She's just like Putin. So I think we should forgive Putin, and we should also forgive Abby.
I think Starhill should have predicted this. Personally, we should have seen this coming. Starhill, where were you at Starhill?
Starhill, we need you analyzing the natal charts of every single
Congressional candidate.
person,
Yeah.
congressional candidate.
I like how this story was about a candidate for the House of Representatives. It wasn't even someone that was elected.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, this is a great story. Let's make fun of somebody
Good
that
job.
really wasted in sleeping. But I do like the sleeping pills defense is always so prevalent. Like, I'm gonna definitely use that soon.
Yeah.
Like, I've never taken sleeping pills, but I'm gonna start.
If I ever get canceled for something I say on here, I'm going sleeping pills, man. I got melatonin right here.
We should do a sleeping pills episode.
We all take sleeping pills and then just do an episode, dude.
Wake up 3 hours. And
Yeah,
Zencastr's
it's just
still
recording.
going. We're all just
And then at the end of the episode, like, we're looking and there's just another box and it's like, who's this? It's like, I'm your producer. Vice sent me. You're a Vice show.
This is so
They
funny.
bring us on.
Yeah.
I want to do this so bad. I don't want to pay for Ambien, but I'll send you all a big bottle of, like, Benadryl or something.
Let's do it.
Robo
Zeke will.
trip together.
You robo
At this
tripping
point in the
episode.
episode, 39 minutes in, it would be getting super weird for sure.
I'm long overdue for a benzo era, a Benadryl era.
Benadryl. It's like the
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson light era. Let's all get
Oh,
addicted to benzos together
for the pod, you know.
for the
You
pop.
gotta get them Patreon subscribers up. You know, we'll set a goal, $500 goal. If we can hit that, we'll all go in a benzo.
benzo bender.
I'm so sorry. I had a transition ready to go, but I lost it. Where was it? Oh yeah. Speaking of, yeah, I lost it. But anyway, I'm just gonna bring up this story because Mark Zuckerberg apparently is telling his employees that they are now referred to as Metamates.
I hate that. I would quit. I would quit, dude. I'd be like, I'm not doing this. I can't. I have self-respect.
These are no longer your coworkers. These are your. Say hello to your. Turn to your left. Say hello to your metamate.
I now pronounce you Metamates.
There was a ceremony.
It's a ceremony.
I hate this so much,
God,
but I also
so...
love it because it seems so like toxic as far as the culture goes that like Facebook is going to die in the near future. I'm sure of it. I'm probably wrong. They'll hemorrhage, employees, and they'll work it out. But like this seems so terrible that they will have to, vomit employees. Because, I used to work at Walmart 10, 20 years ago. I don't know. Time is a flat circle for me. But at some point I worked at Walmart and they would call us associates. And even that felt enormously pandering. And to be called a fucking metamate, bro, get the fuck out of my face. What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
yeah, that's insane out of body cringe experience for me. Because it's already so sad that they're like rebranding and it's just like, all right, you're meta now. Ooh, definitely not a has-been social media company at all. That's not what that would do. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that it's relevant to bring up the transition is so forced that it's going to be extremely painful and obvious all along the way. We're going to be hearing about it for years because, Facebook's not necessarily in trouble. Like they might suffer or whatever, but like they're fine. People are going to like post dumb shit and controversial shit for years to come because it's almost like a monopoly on that for Facebook. But they are forcibly changing their model and making people get these avatars that look like fucking the worst version of
ugly, dude.
And that's the thing. They looked better before. Like, how do you do that? Like,
but literally, Wii's from 2007 looked better than these fucking thing. Like Wii, whatever the fuck they're called.
The Mii's, yeah.
Mii's, thank you. Yeah, they looked better than this, which is pathetic.
Metamates.
Yeah,
Metami's.
Metameat.
And it's all because they anticipate that we're going to put on shit on our face. Like I'm going to wear a fucking iPhone on my face tomorrow when I get up for my meetings and shit. Imagine if we were doing this podcast in the metaverse and we're like, yo, what's up, man?
One day we will.
Willow, I'm going to have to wear a fucking fleshlight on my fucking face. You know what I mean?
We're just like, Phil, you didn't have to wear that. What the fuck, man?
A microphone. So, Metamates, you are now holding the new Meta mic. As you can see, it goes down your throat.
Oh my god!
It's just like a.
Why does it have veins?
Why is this microphone so veiny? Wow!
Is this supposed to throb? Yes.
Yeah. I can't wait for the David Cronenberg era of the metaverse.
Now that I would be into.
Absolutely.
I remember I read recently that like Facebook, this for the first time ever, they had a decrease in daily logins, and their user base has been skewing older and older basically every year, which is like kind of terrifying for like a social media company, right? I mean, like, damn.
Yeah, they completely lost any relevance with like any young people who aren't you know, extremely jaded and you know, kind of rooting for Facebook to fail, Facebook and Meta at large to fail, despite the fact that we love being on there to hate on it. I think, you know, and just sort of like destroy it. We're like termites or something in Facebook.
Yeah.
They definitely created an infrastructure of hate where you just it's doom scrolling hates where you just go there because you know you're gonna get the most reactions, whether it's the people that hate what you post or love what you post. It's just
they got in trouble too for lying about the impressions and the interactions that they sell as ads to people too.
Really?
They actually they're in a lawsuit now. It's probably going to be another 2 years or so before they settle or it comes to like a, you know, fruition or whatever. But yeah, it's crazy. And it's probably true because like if you look at sometimes if you look at the ads or the like sponsored content, it'll be like 200,000 views and then it'll be like 2 likes, 5 comments. And then you click the comments, and it's actually just 1 comment, and you're like, "What is it going on?"
Yeah,
you know.
So they're selling false impressions, basically.
Basically, that's the lawsuit. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what will come of it. So
that makes sense.
This makes sense. All of this tracks 100%. But you know, we're stuck in it, and that's why I welcome more war.
Not me.
Oh.
That's true. I'm free. Let me in.
Social.
Let me in.
Well, hashtag free Matt Moyer.
Matt,
have I finally get it right? Can I say Moyer? Am I getting it? Moyer?
Yeah, you're getting it right. You got it.
Syllables.
Yeah, you're doing great.
I remember when you came on the Chill No show. And
you could say more.
Back on the same show, and I was still like Matt Moore. It's like an ogre name or something. Matt Moore is the ogre version.
I like it. That's the Memphis version, I think.
Matt Moyer.
But
yeah, you have been banned for. I think we need to discuss this because it's relevant to the conversation. You've been banned from Facebook because you told someone they weren't ugly. Is that?
This was my weirdest one. This was my weirdest ban. I've been banned a bunch of times, but like, sometimes it's kind of like really like a 30-day ban for this innocuous kind of like thing, you know, but it's like it's an algorithm, so whatever. But this one was the weirdest one because I was replying to someone in an incel group that someone had added me to as like a joke.
Yeah,
because I had to. I saw something and I was like, hey, but I was trying to be nice because I have sympathy for the incels and
I respect you.
You know, so I replied, like, the guy was like, yeah, well, no, he was replying to somebody else. And he was like, yeah, well, no, it doesn't matter if no one will swipe right on you, because he's talking about how he doesn't get any, matches on dating apps. And I replied to him, hey, it's probably because your profile sucks. If you want, you can you can show me it and I'll tell you if it's like off-putting, and I'll, sure. I was genuinely trying to be helpful here. I know, no joke. I was like, if you're not getting any matches, something's wrong with your profile. And then he's like, no, man, I'm ugly. And I click on his profile. I'm like, the guy's not ugly. He's like a decent looking dude. Like look, should be able to definitely get matches, not an ugly guy. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, I'm ugly. And I replied, I'm like, my direct quote was, you're not ugly, dude. I know people way uglier than you that get laid. and I got banned for that. I got banned for 30 days for that. And then I appealed it and they upheld it. Someone looked at that and was like, fuck you, man. You can't be calling people not ugly. You can't be spreading hope, these incels.
I mean, whatever moderation they have on Facebook and Instagram is totally bullshit, because I posted a picture one time of just somebody wearing jeans with like a big wet patch on their crotch, right? Could be pissed. It could be pissed. That was what the implied joke was, but we don't know that. Mm-hmm. And Facebook, banned me for that, and I appealed it, and they didn't take it back. But on Instagram, the same thing happened, and they took it back, and they said it wasn't. And you know what the worst part is? The whole time, the fucking infraction or whatever you want to call it was for nudity.
It's so
and
totally
it's just a pair
insane.
Of fucking jeans. I mean, they're
That's
just wearing
so
wet
nuts.
jeans.
Wet
There's
jeans.
no nudity.
Yeah, haven't you ever been to a wet jeans contest, Phil?
We reviewed your
pretty hot.
appeal, and there's definitely nudity in this picture because I am David Cross from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
So,
Nice. But you know what they tell
they
That's a
won't
deep
even
cut.
look at it.
they tell you now, by the way, I don't know if you've been banned recently, but they tell you that they've shadow banned you too. So on my account it says you're banned for 30 days and then you're for 90 days I'm going to be lower in the feed.
suppressed.
And
That's
I
fucked
was
up.
like, great.
It's
that's
funny that they tell you this because
awesome.
it just means that they went through like the whole beta program for shadow
Yeah.
banning, right? Which,
yeah.
hey, welcome to shadow banning beta, where we don't tell you that you're shadow banned, but you get to test it out for us. Now we're going to tell
we realize
everyone
that
about
was
it.
wrong now, and
Yeah.
psychologically extremely fucked up.
No, they're like, we realize we got it right, so now we can go public
Yeah,
with it.
yeah,
because you're.
we're openly evil now, so which is better. I think we can all agree.
I just like to feel like Facebook is some like gigantic version of like a poly relationship, but there's all these weird rules that
nobody ever like made clear in the beginning.
yeah, you weren't supposed to post about that shit. So you're out of the poly circle this week. You're out of the poly circle.
You don't get
30
laid
days.
for 90 days
Yeah,
now.
you can
get a
watch us.
blowjob in 30 days though.
Babe, you weren't supposed to take photos of me ever. Or you. No one can know
Huge
what
turn off.
either of us look like.
Well,
Yeah,
before
but anyway,
we wrap-
deactivated. So
Metamates.
we're metamates.
We're
That's what poly when poly people get married. That's what they're called. Metamates.
No, legally,
Legally
yes.
required to be called metamates.
You're not. That's not your spouse. But it is. It's like your permanent spouse.
Well, we got to get this in before we wrap up. We're reaching the end of the podcast, but apparently the show, the Arthur, the Aardvark or whatever, aired its final episode this week.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Wow.
and they pulled one of the classic narrative moves like reboot. I don't know if you ever watched that. Young Justice, all these things where they just skip ahead. They do a time skip. The final episode is 25 years later. And this was very upsetting. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. This was fucking weird. Arthur was definitely like not somebody I want to be friends with. His sister was a cop. It just got super weird.
Who you definitely want to be friends with.
I just
Old Arthur was like a weird guy.
he had like a little aardvark goatee, which was weird, like it was just basically like 7 lines, and then he had like this like kind of like the swoop haircut, like
Was he a
Rivers
Redditor?
Cuomo, or he's definitely a Redditor. Or I feel like he would have had a podcast by now for sure.
Okay, yeah, and not a cool one like us.
Sweater and everything, and he was sitting in like a booth at a diner. I don't know. It felt weird to me. I don't like this. Like, why did they do
was a
this?
fucking cop, dude. Ugh.
Well, like I
out,
love my favorite thing was the meme with the Arthur fist, like
Mm-hmm.
they just reveal that his sister's a cop, and then you just see the fist. This shit is weird. Why do I don't need this, like personally, I don't need to see cartoon characters aged up 25 years. And if you really think about it, what if they just like went all the way like 60 years, right? Whereas like Arthur is in a single living family scenario. He's extremely obese.
He's so lonely.
He's on a whatever TBS show or whatever as an influencer. His sister's dead from
being a cop.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're gonna do with Franklin. It's like 30 years later, and he's like sitting outside of a homeless, or sitting outside of like a Home Depot with a gun to his head, calling his ex-wife.
He's got a single piece of wood in a bag.
Yeah.
Well, this shit just bothers me. So why do they feel like they need to inappropriately age up these characters and make them deal with? It's just a fucking cartoon show for kids, right? Like,
I would like to play devil's advocate on this because it is a cartoon show for kids, and I think the idea, ostensibly, what they're doing is they're giving kids like a real connection in their mind of like kids can become something. It's not like a like a career day where whoever the fuck comes in and talks about their fucking jerk off job to the kids or whatever. It's like, you know, they're trying to create this narrative of like, well, you know him as a kid, but now here, look, he's a fucking loser adult. But he probably has a job and like a place to like jerk off or whatever, so it's fine. He's got like, you know, don't worry about him.
Place to jerk off. Priorities as an adult.
Don't worry about him. And, you know, his sister has a weird, scary brotherhood that, you know.
Imagine the finale of Arthur is just like 25-year-old Arthur and his sister, and it just cuts to black. They're all just sitting there having dinner together and just... And everyone's like, what the fuck does this mean? Arthur's fucking just, what does this mean? It just cuts to black. I don't understand. I don't know. I just like, I don't like it because it projects a lot of stuff on kids that don't need, like, I brought a Reboot. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
I loved that show. It was one of my favorite shows.
Well, like you said, the first 2 seasons are very procedural, right? It's just like, you know, the Guardian and then the kid. And then season 3 happens and like, the kid is aged up and he has like an eye patch and shit. Like that's the kind of like, that's what I want to see. It's like Arthur should have been like an amputee for some reason. I don't know why. Probably was part of the Proud Boys. I don't know why either there, but like
he's the fucking John Goodman character from Big Lebowski.
They should do it with Wishbone, and it's like 20 years later and they're just like, hey, yeah, Wishbone's been dead for like 20 years.
Oh wow. It's so dark. I mean, I feel like they tried to do this with Barney, but it went much worse.
Really?
I don't really actually remember anything about it, so I'm false claiming right now.
That would be so bizarre.
Yeah, Barney was you know, he was a meme lord on Facebook. He had a lot of clout but zero income. His kids were estranged from him. His wife said, don't fuck with Barney anymore. He's weird. He just posts on Facebook all the time. And he thinks he's like a micro niche internet celebrity.
And he is.
But he can't really pay his rent or anything. So I can't
get hard anymore.
Yeah. Damn,
yeah,
Barney.
that sounds like how Barney ended, I think.
Imagine.
He's addicted to benzos, getting this treatment next to Jordan B. Peterson. And then Barney.
Hi.
Well, we'll give a shout out to The Simpsons, as bad as that show has become. But they did this several times where they aged up the characters. And I feel like they did them well, where they were like not okay. And that's much more relatable to me than just like, yeah, Arthur's some guy now. And he's okay.
He's fine. He's just okay.
Fine.
We demand it. Yeah, that's the thing. We've really grown, and the kids have grown too as you know, TV watchers. You know, we've had so much prestige TV. The kids are not okay, but they know a good series finale. And I
want the final episode of Arthur to be like Euphoria. You know what I'm saying? Like heavy drug use, a lot of, you know,
just weird sex and shit.
Yeah.
That's actually not representative of Euphoria at all. Like,
I've never seen an episode of Euphoria, and I never will.
I was going to say, I could tell where that was going. I was going to false claim. I watched it all. It's a decent show. It made me feel really bad most of the time. But
I watched the first season, and I'm like, I wanted to wait until everybody was not talking about it anymore and had ruined it for me to watch the second season.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Ukraine. I'm going to take the same approach.
Wait for Ukraine 2.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Ukraine season 2 because I just can't.
Wait for the Ukraine.
Everyone's posting about this shit. I can't right now. I just muted Euphoria and Ukraine on my Twitter. No, the first season is hard, and if Arthur was anything like, if Arthur was anything like, if Arthur was hard.
I'm sorry.
Arthur was hard.
Go on.
That's all I got. I don't know. I don't want to go with that. I did think it would be funny to have a final episode of a children's cartoon that was as messed up as Euphoria or, you know, any HBO show.
Well, they could easily make Arthur they could have easily made the last episode truly heinous by bringing in God, what's his name? The fucking right-wing idiot.
Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, Rush Limbaugh, who used to play one of the kids on the show.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No. Yes. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It was Howie Carr.
I don't know Howie Carr.
Oh, no, the joke was, that didn't land. Sorry. You can get rid of all of this.
We'll cut it out. We'll edit that down. No, we don't edit anything anymore on this.
Everything stays in.
We're no edits. It's all or nothing, baby.
If you're seeking the truth, don't watch Fox News. Listen to the Suck, where we're 100% honest with you all the time. We share our cringe with you.
We are the cringe.
The silence is too awkward. I'm going to cut all that out.
Oh, it's Steve. Sorry. Okay, so when you're cutting that out, you just cut up to here. Yeah, it's Steven Crowder. Yes.
No, I'm not cutting it out. It's even. Yeah, I can't believe we didn't think of that by now. Who did Steve Crowder play?
He was an African American character, actually, which is its own.
Makes it so much worse. Why? Yeah. What's the?
I believe
an African. Wait, they're all animals, right?
Yes, but he played. Sorry,
the African American Aardvark. Is that what I'm understanding?
I believe he was a bear.
Oh shit, you're right.
It's so weird to me. Like, why do they have ethnicities?
Oh, was he Brain? I think he was Brain.
Most of the listeners probably know this. So we'll leave it to y'all.
Yes,
to parse it out
he
for
plays,
yourself.
And now I'm on Reddit, so this is that. I didn't think this was how my night.
Yeah, he's Brain.
It's getting darker.
Yeah, he's Brain. Brain, whose family celebrates Kwanzaa, etc. And I think he only lasted like a couple seasons. And he was a child, so it wasn't his fault, really. But it's bizarre. So what I'm saying, now that we've edited all that out, surely, is that they could bring Steven Crowder back.
Yes.
To show how the Brain has grown up and now has his own YouTube program.
Honestly, it's a testament to
videos
culture
program
that
or whatever.
Steven Crowder wasn't in the final episode of Arthur. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, come on.
They should have brought him back for this.
Yeah. That would have been prestige fucking,
Yeah.
Just a fan service table that says, prove me wrong, phrenology or something like that.
Yeah, right after the Arthur fist. That's where, Arthur's fist comes back and he's pissed off.
Well, before we wrap this up, the only other thing I got left is that apparently Wordle players are outraged because the game is getting harder and harder.
Right.
The game is so fucking hard.
Yeah, it got purchased, right?
Words. Yeah, they got picked up by the New York Times, and they have the crosswords, and they saw the opening to own Wordle.
Yeah,
as a new word game for the masses. And this is I've avoided Wordle. I've seen Willow. I've seen your posts of playing Wordle. I don't know if Matt's been playing Wordle.
I played it one time.
Okay, I haven't played it. I'm not shaming anyone. I'm just trying to get a level of engagement here, right? But yeah, there was, I guess, apparently the word caulk, CAULK, created outrage across the world because it was too hard. People said that unless you're Bob the Builder or a boomer, you couldn't guess the word caulk. And
as soon as the logo changed to like the New York Times font, people start accusing Wordle of elitism for the word caulk.
Yeah,
caulk is not that boomer.
Very working class word, honestly.
It's really exactly
about this. Like, well, y'all don't know about caulk. Like, come on, like that mold.
Oh, I know about caulk. I'm sorry.
Caulk. Like, what sort of fucking like sorry to say brainworms, but brainworms do you have to start this sort of fucking discourse, man?
It's just outrage culture. And the New York Times,
fuck the New York Times, but like
RollingStones.com wrote this article. So that's really what it is. It's just, they're just like, you should be mad.
The Rolling Stones, not Rolling Stone the magazine, but Rolling Stones the band's official site.
Yeah.
In their news section, they're like, we just heard about Wordle going over to the Bip USA. That's how Mick Jagger sounds.
Amazing. Well, I just wanted to wedge that one in there at the end. I don't think there's a whole lot to say about Wordle. I don't know.
I will say, and people were really mad about Tacit as well.
Tacit.
Okay.
I like Matt's post about just like putting the word cock in like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And
I got so many people fucking replying to that, going like, it only accepts 5 letter words. Just fuck off. It's a shit post about cocks, you fucking morons.
It's so funny to me that you could just
so fucking annoying, man.
The joke is so obvious that you could get them to respond to that. It makes me laugh.
That's part of the fucking joke.
So funny to me. All right,
you gotta
everybody.
drop into the comments. You gotta respond. You gotta leave your Ukraine hot takes. Get in Matt's comments now.
Get in the comments now. Talk
on Twitter.
On
Twitter. Get in all of our comments on Twitter.
This has been episode 29 of the Succ. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you, if you really like this, join us on our Patreon. We really need it. We're really all very poor. And I've just been eating soup. I eat soup most days of the week. 50 cents for a can. If you can subscribe on
any kitchen's a soup kitchen if it's got enough soup.
But yeah, patreon.com. That was the worst plug for the Patreon. I will actually,
I think it was the best.
Help us, we're poor.
So poor. We're so
we
poor.
Want to make you. We want to do better content. We want better mics.
I need to send more microphones to more,
Moyers,
Millie Bobby Browns and stuff.
Not that one.